The tale of House Hoslow is told in blood, but what if it was told in omens? I don't do intros. How you guys doing today? I'm doing good today. Today I decided to actually do something I've never done on the channel before, and that is to do a PvE build video. So what does that mean? Normally my content involves PvP only, player versus player. PvE is a little bit different. It's well, it means player versus environment or player versus enemy. So basically, the base game, the game, and not on any online play. Just you know, just you versus the bosses or the enemies. So yeah, PvE builds are a little bit different than PvP builds. Obviously, in PvE, you don't really have a stat requirement that you have to get to, not a meta or anything like that. You basically just want to make a really cool build and make it very strong, make it very viable. You have no level cap, you have no stat cap. You can just go in, which is what this build's all about, and this series is all about. That I'm gonna eventually do of these PvE videos. It's not gonna be the last one, I promise. So what is my inspiration for this build? All right, well, so when I make a build, any kind of build, a PvP build or a PvE build, I like to add like stupid amounts of lore to my character that makes sense as to why they use the weapons and stuff that they want to use. Now the first thing I always think about is the weapon. Now the first weapon that I used on this character was actually not Morgoth's sword that you see me using right here in this clip. It was actually the Knight Rider flail. And I don't know, I really like that weapon. Flails have never been in Souls games before, so the fact that they were in Elden Ring makes me really happy, and I wanted to use one. Right here, you're gonna actually see clips of me using the spell that I just got, which is Blood Flame Talons. I just kind of wanted to show it off, the damage that it could do. So what does this build revolve around? It involves around the Blood Flame kind of incantations that you get, which leads me into the character lore, which I created for this character. You may see the name Hoslow in the title and be confused as to why this guy is not using the Hoslow whip. Well, that's because I gave him his own little custom lore. It helps me do that with all my builds. So there are two Hoslow brothers that we actually see in game, Juno and Dialos. They're the two Hoslow brothers that we see in the game, and they both use the Hoslow pedal whips. I wanted my Hoslow character to be a little bit different. I imagined him as like the third brother, the middle brother, if you will, that never really got looked after. He was born as an Omen. Now, what is an Omen if you don't know? And Omens are, well, they're like Morgoth, they're like Moog, they're like the Omens that you see in the sewers that you just saw me murderize a couple minutes ago. They're basically people that were born with curses on their bodies, like horns and whatnot. So I imagine this guy was the middle brother of the Hoslow brothers, was born with curses on his face. So he was hidden away from the rest of the family and the rest of the world, which is why he doesn't use a pedal whip. He uses the flail instead. And in the lore of Moog, the Lord of Blood, he is visited by the Formless Mother, an outer god that basically makes his blood erupt in fire. So I imagine this is what also happened with my character. And as he ventured to the lands between, he eventually met Moog and Morgoth and took their shit after he killed them, which is why he has Morgoth's cursed sword, which is another great addition to a Blood Flame build, I think, because it has that really cool weapon art, which you're going to see here in a second as I do it on Commander Nile. Yeah, this is weird. It's post-commentary. I hope I don't ramble too much, but I also hope I, get through everything that I want to get through. I should do the weapon art now. Yeah, there it is. Pretty good damage on it, especially when you get a bleed. As you can see, I staggered him there. So let's go to the rest of the build now that we got through the lore. The weapons and spells I'm using are obviously Morgoth's Curse Sword that you're seeing me using there. I'm also using the Night Rider Flail. You'll see that in an upcoming clip real soon. And something neat that I threw on there that I did to match the lore of the character and purely for no other reason is the Regal Omen Brain, which you get also from Morgoth. So in order to get both of those things on this build, you will have to duplicate his remembrance at a mausoleum and get both of his things that he offers, which are Morgoth's Curse Sword and the Regal Omen Brain. Yeah. What else am I using? Blood Boon. It's a really cool spell that you've seen me use on Commander Nile there right in the beginning. I think you can get it from Lord of Blood, I'm pretty sure. And the next one, obviously you've already seen me use Blood Flame Talons. I wanted to kind of showcase like how much damage they actually did, because they cause bleed and they do crazy amounts of damage. So I did do that. And then the two buff spells that I'm using are Flame Grant Me Strength and Golden Vow. You can never really go wrong with Golden Vow or Flame Grant Me Strength. They buff your physical damage, and the other one buffs your fire damage as well. So the fashion that I used on this character, and I'll tell you the reason as to why I used the fashions that I used. You might notice that I'm not wearing full Hoslow armor. The reason for that is I imagine that the Hoslow brothers, they have two different masks. So I imagine that everyone in their family had different masks. So I gave my character the Raging Wolf mask because I think it's pretty close to their aesthetic. Not quite, but it is close. Something else I want to mention is the Marred shield that I'm using in this clip right here, alongside the Night Rider Flail. I just really like the look of that shield. I also have Carrying Retaliation on it, which I did not use here, which I should have. But I didn't, because I'm an idiot. So yeah, I used the Raging Wolf helm because I thought it was... By the way, I know you see me using Bloodhound Step there. I did it purely for the aesthetic, alright? Juno uses Bloodhound Step when you invade him, so it's lore accurate. Also, this gesture that you see me doing in a lot of these clips is the gesture that you get from Juno, which is pretty cool. It's called Hoslow's Oath, so I thought it was lore appropriate for the character and for the build. By the way, I'm going to show you all the stats and everything I have at the end of the video, so you can, if you want to copy it, you can. Even though this character is pretty high level, he's close to 200. We'll go through the stats in a minute. I wanted to explain why it shows his helmet. I keep getting sidetracked, but yeah. Nice show off of Blood Boon here against this Crucible Knight. So I chose this helmet because I imagined that the brothers all have different helmets, and I thought the Raging Wolf helmet was close to their aesthetic. You can see me using the Omen Brain there, Regal Omen Brain. That actually scales with both intelligence and faith, so it doesn't do a ton of damage, but you know, it works. So the stats. So I believe in order to make this build, I'll tell you all the stats that you might require. You need 35 dex for Morgoth's Curse Sword, I'm pretty sure. And if you want to replicate the rest of this, I believe you need 25 for Golden Vow, Faith, that is, 25 Faith. And I think the maximum arc that you actually need, Arcane that is 17? So 17 Arcane, 25 Faith, and 35 Dex is what you would need to completely replicate everything on this build. If you wanted to. Now, I don't recommend just doing that. I recommend leveling up all those stats too quite a bit. Also, remember to level up your vigor. You need a lot of vigor. You need a lot of health in this game. This game is very, very health hungry. A lot of things do a lot of damage in this game. I learned that real quick on my first playthrough when I just decided, I don't need health. I'm a Souls veteran. No, you need health. You need health, my brother. You need health. So I'm actually glad that I didn't ramble too long for this video. This is my first ever post-commentary video. and I was kind of worried that I would ramble too much and run out of time, or I would ramble too little and not get through everything I wanted to get through. I even had some notes right here to keep me in line. My ADHD brain wandered a little too much. I could just go back to the notes, you know. So anyway, boys, here's all the stats and whatnot. Showing you my emote that I'm way too damn proud of. Here's all the stats and whatnot. If you guys want to copy this build, you can. If you just wanted to see something creative, this is what I do this for. But with that being said, guys, I'll see you guys soon, and take care. Oh, don't forget to subscribe if you like this kind of content, because I'm gonna be doing this a lot, along with PvP videos and PvE videos. All right, guys, take care.